DET Talk, Lisa Bloch. Take it away, Lisa. All right.
This is my very first VeraSage symposium, and I just did not know what to expect. Well, I knew a little bit of what to expect. I expected that I would be around people who thought really interesting thoughts and were going to expand my mind. I had no idea it was going to be this much fun, though. So you have all exceeded my expectations, and thank you very much. I also did not know anything about DET Talks or that I was going to need to do one until shortly before the football game yesterday. So here I am. I'm going to wing it. But I'm a consultant, and that's how I roll. So it'll be okay. I've decided to tell you the story about how my trip from Dallas-Fort Worth Airport to this hotel the other night, because it actually perfectly exemplifies the experience of customers, how customers view value. A little bit about me is that I do, in fact, lead a very fully engaged life, which results sometimes in not always being as prepared for things maybe as I could be, because I believe in living in the moment. And I traveled on Tuesday, and I realized very late Monday night that I had yet to really even think about how I was going to get from the airport to the hotel, let alone I hadn't packed, but you know, that's different. So, you know, I started looking into it, and what I found was that I had a few options. One was there was a super shuttle. Two, there was traditional taxis. Three, there was this thing called ExecuCar. And four, there was Uber. So I started looking into this. Super shuttle, it didn't really look that great because it looked like they were going to drive you around all over the place, and that just didn't sound wonderful to me. But mostly, when I tried to look into it, their technology didn't work, and the site kept crashing. So, they were done. Then taxi, I was like not so set on the taxi, but I looked into Uber, and I was getting these crazy Uber prices. They were really expensive, which didn't seem Uber-like to me at all. But it was looking like it was going to be about $140, which I thought, that's crazy to spend that kind of money with Uber. So I was sure that the website couldn't be right, so then I did it on my mobile, and I got the same results. So I thought, okay, this is a little risky. But then ExecuCar was $97, and for $97, they promised that I had a ride, that they would be there for me, and they would just drive me here, and the car would be nice. So I thought, okay, I'm going to just go with the sure thing. So I booked the thing with ExecuCar. I managed to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and pack before I left, which meant I took everything I had and just threw it in the suitcase, got in the car, and got on the airplane. Well, shortly before the plane was the plane was coming in, and then I realized I don't really know how this ExecuCar thing works, and I don't really know where I find the car. I don't know how they find me. I really didn't have this very worked out. So at that same moment when the plane lands and, you're taxiing and the flight crew finally says, welcome to your destination, and the whole plane explodes, that moment when everybody unbuckles and jumps up and starts pulling everything out of the rack. At that moment, my phone vibrated. And I never turn my phone is always on vibrate. It's never on, which means I always miss all my calls, which is okay with me. But I happened to notice it vibrating, and I picked it up and answered it, and it turned out it was the driver for ExecuCar. Well, I couldn't really hear him because everybody was pulling everything out from, the overhead bins, but I did get that he was somehow going to be just waiting at the gate. So I thought, okay, that's great. That worked out. So I got to the gate, and then there was this man with an iPad, actually, with my name on it, which made it really easy to know who he was. And he was right there, and I just so appreciated that, especially being as unprepared as I was. I did not have to work anything out. He had done all of that. And his name was Alex. Well, one of the very first things Alex did after he very nicely got my bag for me off of the carousel, which I appreciated that also, is he started trying to He started asking me whether I had arranged my ride back to the airport and whether I wanted to book that or not. And at that moment, I have to say that felt really aggressive to me. And so I did, my best hedging thing. And I didn't commit to anything at all. But, he took my bag. We went out to his car, which was this very, very nice, very big black SUV. And I decided to sit in the front with him and chat. Well, I am a consultant, and it is always my curiosity I'm interested in all sorts of business models and people's relationships to their business models. And so we got in the car, and I started asking Alex about ExecuCar. And, how did ExecuCar work? Did he work for the company? Was this his car? Was he a subcontractor? Did they just let him know when there was somebody to pick up? Did he get to say yes? Did he get to say no? I'm out of time. Okay, I'm sorry about that because Alex was fascinating. So I'll wrap this up. I'm going to just tell you one thing. He was a cardiologist from Israel, and it was the most interesting ride I've ever had. So I booked him. He's coming to pick me up at 5:30 on Sunday. And if anybody wants to come along, you can because his car's big.